Gambia am nañ mbégte ngir taxawee jotaay bii di fukkeeli yoon ak juróomi OIC Summit ci ñaari fan ñeneenti fan ak juróomi fan ci weeri Mai 2024 dinañ dalal ay buur ay njiiti réew ñu toppa ci njiiti réew yi ak ñi nga xam ne ñooy taxawal seeni réew ci mbootaay gi ñu toll ci juróom fukk ak juróom ñaari réew ñu bokk ci Organisation of Islamic Cooperation ñoo fee daje ñu war leen a dalal fii ci réewi Gambia teeru leen sargal leen bu kenn dootut fàtte ñu war a dajee ngir mun a waxtaan càmbar nu ñoo amee jàmm ak bennoo mun a mànkoo si lu ñoo jëmale kanam ak yokkute du rek si suñuy réew waaye àdduna wërngal képp loolu tax na ñuy sàkku ci ñépp ñu defati ko nañ ko daan defee àndandoor bu taaru bañ ñu xamee woon jàppale nguur gi dañ am ko niñ ko bëggee ci xew-xew bu màgg bile na aada ak cosaan gi génn ñu yaatu ak taaral jikko yi comme niñ ko daan defee wane suñ bopp ci kanami àdduna yépp nañ leen bokk a def taarix nañ leen mbooloo songa ko daan ko.
Hello! There's a new update from your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell.
For all of you that have struggled to buy cash power beyond $7,000, AfriCell has done it again. The limit to buy cash power is now up to $30,000. Oh yes, $30,000.
Buy all the cash power you want from your AfriMoney account by dialing *777#.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
It's an amazing offer. AfriCell Mobile Money just got way better. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be 10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased to 30,000. Meaning, your AfriMoney account, you can now withdraw and deposit up to $30,000 at once.
Cashing in and out just got 3 times easier. For more info, call 777.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Planning to have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond? Worry no more, because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Caraba Avenue and Bruceby Highway, or you can call us on 7657-479-980-8483, 340-9400, or 635-9906.
alaikum baɗigol ngali konton kale bismillah ko teke moɓe kerfatu jibe ganyin tembenna be mol hake danila drong na force life ni kundutale bari mutanale ne bari be network problem ole sotokan non bari say mutanala ne fuli comme nga fo nyamen drong alla politique kacha programme ole min kanale talata ne nyim wato sita ga kacha politique ko la Gambia banko kanjang kolu mi alon ko wolle be kering tol fon wala banko kanjang wala nabi mutanale ne talata kam mol natile mi alon ko ni kacha politique ko la jang nga official tenduke jay baake kanyum programme o fasa ka sembentu yandi ke blodum nyim programme o koto alta number 7 wala number 2 sanrong pour alc megabyte kendol ning credit call soto mi alon ko alte problem soto la je ngetenduke je baake kanyum programme o fasa ka sembentu yandi ko ka ke nyamen rong talata kanale nindun tangole na mi alon ko ni kacha politiko ko la Gambia banko kanjang wala na bi fana mutanale ne aning mo kotengo mi alon ko toma mabo Gambia banko kanjang minkera of course minkera Sulayman lecturer Daboti wala dolka kumande Sulayman Darboe la mole mi alon ko amang toma mabo mole mi alon ko karanta di University of the Gambia ay political science le kije bari say ngala karango nyinga kumfale fa pare bare kafodo fana nyaton kaya Gambia banko kanjang mi alon ko be dunaji nyaato domandi albak ngomele le dabe kulu kono mi alon ko mba kachala bi walem the cabinet reshuffle mi alon ko banko president o yake ali alon ne ko minister dol bijele mi alon ko ye bondi la place auto le bari dol bijele mi alon ko ye maintain ne dol bijele mi alon ko ye samba foreign service ani mo kutolu mi alon ko wolle nata nyil bebe kala koleti mi alon ko mba kachala nyim programme moto jambi bari follow mbe kachala minna wala be kala Senegal la koti Senegal ali alon ne yela carte fayo kele andong ye president kutole soto min keta Basiru Jomai Fayti Basiru lebe kela Senegal la president Lulu Njangoti mi alon ko ya natinan sa en kabring ila nying dimanche lon carte fayo botala dabe molu kono mi alon ko wolle buute wala president of wala candidate oti min keta Amadou Bati Halifa Sallah wolu kata fo Idrissa Seka wolu ani mo kote ngol opposition ngol dolu mi alon ko wolle lota je akamunda atele nyato ka soto first round ganyo mi alon ko aya soto Senegal nyimbe fanandabe kala koti mi alon ko mba kacala nying programme moto ngamol be tenduke je bake mol mi alon ko leba jibe kam fanan ba fule asi programme o se abari kana nyina ka stal ki kerfatu e nyimbe kala koleti mi alon ko abe kerfatu ma ko ela bake na dokol to mi alon ko mbe wala ki kan alsi stal kino mil ba jibe kan YouTube fanan alsi subscribe na YouTube channel kuto to min keta kerfatu media ti alsi subscribe je mol kana nyina ka subscribe je alsa sia pour modol fanan sa jibe no nyame Mr. Darboe welcome be live la on kerfatu
Olon tonya de baraka bake buba ngamul be konton tolni ko konton la to Sulayman Darboe comme ça buba ya fa nyami demu karam do den waldi but right now I've already completed my studies Kabo University of the Gambia Darboe ko kono fanan kaminge wala funding kella karoti recent kafolo e kafami ko ethical youth leadership of the Gambia min funding ke kafolati min ka mama pour ka funding kel karandi maral nya nyima abe nyami nga programme do sore kafami ko 6-month ethical leadership training program ka funding kel karandi nya min fonko la nimbe
nya tonga
6 months about nyaton kaya kendo so akeda nyo kontani ku bade inara Gambia ji be funding kel siada poraro di thousands of funding kel jiko ni horomo yang kumandi pour kana jang kakaja ni ko wala ando ni jigira ni nako bi nimbe bola jang nim fembe bola janne la morlal be nafaso la min
wala mtonya thank you so much ka ko follow do nga start in Senegal la nga lone ko in Senegal carte fayo ketale ila president Lulu Njango ye wole tombo min keta Basiru Jomai Fayti well mole mi alongo mo jabal ba mira no ko atele bina because chochol be keta wato min Usman Sonko wolle man everything despite be kelola non duma bari monene ma mira ko atele be kela president no but well atele winter you know first round gagné way wala soto in Senegal ye Senegal election o je nyaade
first of all ngamra ko male for us to acknowledge Senegal Senegal ila katakuol ina da politiko wala karola anim banko alhalo nyanna ngawo acknowledge because janin nyin carte fa wala janin nyi mama min keda je scientending janni wobe sila dunia ka Senegal jibe coming example especially in the West Africa sub region as a country with arguably a very mature democracy mi yalan ko la democracy ni ya compare ni bankol mimbe adala jam West Africa jam nyontawlo kanto man Senegal lon coup d'état la man Senegal lon minna wolem president kilimo president doye boje doye na nin karo kon na Senegal lo nyinna until of recent Macky Sall la wato when ala wato luwa min landi pour ka boje wobina sila parliament nata ala tanko mandani lo jamfandi fo December ayatara karifa woni nyanna kala February 25th I think karifa woni nyanna kala wol so karifa wala reschedule meno nyen kabre ya taya reschedule to December o man na dia Senegal dingol manke Senegal dingol damati amandia opposition party call fanay nadia hani religious community so nying wasa balia nying kontani balia nying nada ke collective kelo Senegal el bulu everyone stood up kakele kadiamu kaje komi electiono hana manke the initial scheduled date le millon hana manke wodi ake watila mi yalon ko abe kala Macky Sall la manda jana banna ise mansa kudo so and wole nada ke with the help of the constitutional court min nada rule rule against Macky Sall nim parliament no decision to external escape so ningerante kondane kubadi and one reason mi yalon ko akitanye kondane kubadi is because Senegal min nyitandi wolon ning banko e working institutional soto institutional mi yalon ko fongole londi timmata ka doko ke comme doko wala ke nyala ye londi min kam then banko la problème o man sa se ke nyaaw nyande man sa ke asike nyaaw nyande e bajala fota dirinte yalo fo kuriya ko lo bang wol dolbe avoid that a country with working institutions can provide solutions to 75% of it, over 75% of that country's problem. So the Constitutional Court of Senegal, you will meet and Macky Sall in Parliament comes and kaje banku dol to nyami. Presidents will use their parliament, especially if they have the majority, to tamper with laws, to come up with initiatives that favor them. Sifa al Macky Sall jamaa nyine mira ka alafto wala kala. Ibaje la space soro, time soro. Cause nyine fota ko ana fon la candidate wa mil londi sobodu de temale anda manna jigala bake fam. So what space ning creator ning misal fi constitutional court manna decision ning outrule. Ibaje la Macky Sall would have had enough time to better plan this election, to employ tricks, that is the political reading. As a trick soul use, as a kujama use, kaje komi abe ganye la nyame. But because of the Constitutional Court is an established institution, adokola ya lende nyame, Macky Sall nalo plano be na fail. So nyimukule di banko nyane ya karla Senegal la minna. Whether it's the Gambia or any other country, institutions are established for a purpose. It's important that ye londi minkang they function based on that. No keda banku dingol bela la fo soto la dil anungalo wala keda Senegal. So Senegal la election is beyond election. Karambunda long fan soto kelo long songoyo wala fo kelo lam nyinti corruption Macky Sall government arbitrary arrest of politician arrest are the low table for merely exercising their rights and in Kujamal will have a cool conole me opposition candidate will dimming fintita ilota pour gaji ko Macky Sall boye. So Senegal election with regards to Mr. Five comes here for Nyambe. My personally I was never expecting ko regular flag
yeah. I think no one was expecting that. So what it amera mojama le mi volem ni budindi ngol leti de inata ni la project wal nata but kudol bijele mi prokafo is very very easy, but to implement them is always a problem. And Senegal is a big country. Adabela project ko kon wala even ka CFA proka falling in Senegal. So ngajile bankudol mi alon ko yela kodol fare struggle tele. But do you think the project that these young people have in Senegal, they are able to do something for their country?
If these young people are able to effect such a change in the presence of more media lonko meta nyimpal aso nyina for how many years? It is said 4 times I will contest la name of win. We know of Ali Fasal, former prime minister, or under Blay what. Ani mo jamal mila lonko machota political kono wal fintitale nyimpal aso nyinin emaso. Within a span of let's say 4-3 years, ngaje another brain, smart brain in the person of Usman Sonko and all mul fintida to agitate against Macky Sall in order to be able to win this presidency. Unfortunately for them in Arabic. So if they are able to win in light of all new situational minbije, I see no reason why they are not capable of effecting any of their projects in Minkala. It's a doable project. Besides, among the Fendi along Kofana, most of our follow kettle. We've seen it in other countries. So minbije dorong, I think right now Francophone countries, their orientation towards their former colony France is changing.
It's changing,
It's changing you know, they are now realizing that there is nothing sweet, you know, sweeter than getting your full independence. You know, arguably, minka for Senegal ma fansoto inyanne fansoto la nyame because kamen for nyindi hanira Senegal paledo France so they are so that is part of agreement signed, defense agreement, any agreement Senegal francophone country ni la former boss the agreement jamal sign. To be able to break all this, you need a different leadership. And that is the leadership more Safo, Usman Sonko, and in Fai Laftaming Dundila. You know, that is the type of leadership Yemin aspire. And I believe that is also the language Yemin communicate to the masses.
Okay. All right. So, but what do you, Gambia se mune karano Senegal la ni election or from the fight for your foot at a diamond, for your winter diamond? What can we learn from this?
You've said ko Sonko ninyi mufoninkele.
Yeah.
That is one lesson that Gambia can learn from Senegal. That young people are capable of effecting change. Funding in the Gambia have all that it takes to effect any change, but only if they are ready. That is one lesson. Because Sonko is a young person. The president-elect is equally a young person. These people took the bull by the horn, especially Usman Sonko. With everything that he went through, he never gave up. He has been consistent from day one. Unlike in the Gambia, when you have young people in the limelight starting a good cause, at the end of the day, due to inconsistency, agreeably egoistic desires, and whatsoever, it can divert. So Usman Sonko, another pastor, Yemi manifest is consistency in another level with everything. He has been brutalized. Ika, you know, arrest on different occasions. Aka jara from konkan for many days. Nimbe kama munem afe Senegalil sulata fenela fansotola bari makisal mantaro digela. So nying matala nyantol di purkala mol bondi o dedo kono. Ando ngamira moliye la moy wala. Moliye la mala kumola ala make mansati. ala make president irada bari moli la mala kuola. This is a clear lesson Gambia nol nyanne karana minna. Another lesson could be ngamin for no when it comes to the issue of state institutions performing to expectation, devoid of influence from the president, from the executive or any other body, as long as Bankole Bundani Londi with clear cut functions, I think akumata back from prove that institution and then more min BJ yesila alala ya long coming, they are guided by laws to perform their function. Anyway, just like Macky Sall was able to penetrate the parliament through his parliamentarians, the unlawful extension of the rescheduling of the election.
Yeah.
Ning ayatara, the constitutional court is also as corrupt as other institutions, whether in the Gambia or other countries, milka lual falling, wala to support the sitting president or so. Macky Sall would have had an easy ride.
Yeah.
He would have had an easy ride. Maybe for can be whatever. You know, the kudo le fola. By now, maybe if kelole be kelaban yellow be bona or whatsoever, but maybe for can whatever be. But because the constitutional court yela lodula lonne ye kumo fandi ya state interest protect. That is why be Sal ning evenke songo ning 5 be bota prison plus other prisoners be muta political prisoners be muta ye be bula find another contest another gagné. So these are few lessons Bangu Gambia nyana karana minna, especially when it comes to young people taking the responsibility.
Now talking about young people, the young people that we have here, we have seen Dr. Cisse Nata, and he was embraced by a lot of people. Mo Jamaloko, he is the person. Dr. Cisse Nata, you know, he joined the president now. He is now, in fact, Mbe Futalaura is the Minister of Information now. So we've seen Mamadou Sabali. Mamadou Sabali was with the opposition United Democratic Party. He criticized the government a lot, saying he's with the president now. We've seen Essa Faal came up, covering election of Batala. No one move Essa Faal boy. But we have these young, energetic people like Sonko in the Gambia that can effect change. Do you think we have that?
We might have them, but they are not in the limelight. Those that we had in the limelight are no more. Because itella bije mul yofoninge jamake yakari tella. But it's not that Gambia does not have young people who can effect such changes. We have young people who can effect such changes in the Gambia. But in more bet nano ye fam force to effect changes. For more less taraje ye yakari le ye jikila ye support. Purka falimu don lana. And that is what Gambians did to people like Dr. Ismail Cisse and people like Mamadou Sabali when he started being upright to stand against injustice in this country. My African family.
Yeah.
Dr. Cisse comes and it's all about being consistent. With due respect to him, when he came newly in the political landscape of the country, when he was in the political arena newly, he won the heart of many young Gambians who would have also wanted to be at the same position. But because of the respect, the value that they attach to him as a credible young person, they forgot about their stripes, and we are willing and ready to give him the support deserve. Consistency. He started being consistent. When he protested, there were a lot of young people who came out to support him during his protest. Among the Fenkama. It's not because Akamul Karandile Fanong. It's not about that. Karandiro is his responsibility. It's because it's paid for him. But because of what he stands for. So what young people must not also be tired of is when you see somebody of being credible, especially fellow young people, Ijikitala, ko abesilo le kambialang ko tonyalong, isa support nyao nyanding, na isilo bula. Don't be afraid to say kwa isilo le bula and detach yourself. Even if it means if they found another young person and he is upright, he has the interest of the masses, and he wants to remain being consistent to effect changes, just as someone in fire mean. That is the bottom line. So we have young people, but I know everything is that young people will rise in this country, not through violence, but rise with conscious ideas and mindset to effect change, just as Songo and Faye did in Senegal. So it's possible, and it is going to happen.
So when you look at the young people in this country, most of them are attached to a political party.
Very well.
So I think that is the difference between Senegal and the Gambia. The party that they are supporting, that is the only party that they see. Or the party that is the only party that they see. Like you look at Sonko in Senegal and how they were able to win the hearts of the young people in Senegal. Do you think there is any possibility this party syndrome of okay, this is the party that I will support, and I'm not going to leave this party, and and funding Kelia support. Is it possible in the Gambia?
So for me personally, I don't think there is anything wrong with young people aligning themselves
with a party,
to a particular political party. In fact, that is an exercise of democracy. That is something that characterizes every democratic state. No bail or right long to be associated with a political party, even though we have rules, we have laws that guide guide some of those things, especially if you are a civil servant or so. But it's your fundamental right to associate. Sonko is part of the party. But regardless, the language that he uses is the language that Senegalese want. What he communicates, is what interests Senegalese. If you communicate about things that are evidence-based, for instance, if you should say, Komagisal arbitrarily arrest fellow politicians. Neatarawo is something that is happening in Senegal.
People are seeing it.
Nico corruption is happening in the country. Nico unemployment rate is affecting is getting high. Unemployment is affecting young people. These are realities. So the language that you communicate, if it meets the realities at that point in time, regardless of the party that you belong, people will stand by you. And that is what happened in Senegal. Sonko, Faye, and the entire party spoke the language that Senegalese wanted about the realities that are happening. And people supported. And no mean that a call from a sonendi bulu is because atebo fola wato naba fola nabi some of these things while communicating them ngaminje wala Makisal will embark on such acts.
Yeah.
Making it an evidence to everybody.
Evidence for Kaitani Senegalese la for
you have a platform to speak about some of these arrests, you know, how troubled politicians are, how curtail freedom of expression is in Senegal. The next day, people will listen. So funding kill in the Gambia should think along this direction. Not only funding kill, but I think political parties in this country should think along this direction. Okay. What interests the country? What do you think, you know, what are some of the things are of interest to people in this country? And how can you better communicate this to people? You know, let them be evidence-based. But it's sad that it's very unfortunate. Character assassination and kumol for nyoma
tribalism.
That is not Sonko ala campaign big. I watched several videos of him. Makisal Jolal.
Yeah.
That is something me alonko ngamira is Gambian made. You know, it's Gambian made and Fabe environmental soldering, but it's something me alonko is at the helm of the agendas of most of our political party leaders as they embark on their campaigns. As immediately they have access to platform, they talk about things. You might not necessarily talk about these things, but tell them in plain. But certain statements you make, you indirectly talking about those realities, whether it's tribalism and other things. So basically, these are the realities.
Yeah, I fully agree that I think the funding kill they changes ke Senegal, and this same funding kill they can do the change everywhere in the world, whether in the Gambia or in any other places. So, but the most important thing is they should involve themselves in politics. Definitely, right? Yeah. Most of the people make a vote is either the women. Yeah. Or these old people. So it's very important if you want change in your country as a young person, you involve yourself in politics, just like what Senegal did. But the other problem is now we depend on Senegal highly because ila sojarol bijane and also even electricity and business wise. Now the opposition, this current government is more aligned with Macky Sall, and the opposition they complain a lot. Kabrin Darboe Nata jang, what they said was if in fact they wanted to protest Kabrin Maki Nata, you know, some of them were arrested. So permitol apply last time. Idata permitol dealer. Lungo minna nyantela program wakala yela permito revoke the same day. So the opposition were having problems here. So do you think this will not affect Gambia? So opposition only win. Now they're in power, and Barrow was a friend of Maki. Don't you think this will affect?
So maybe I think the relationship that Barrow had with Maki is no more. Although, no, it might still be there, but politically as leaders, in terms of service to their respective countries as presidents, what we've seen through this election is a change of regime. And I want to believe, despite having Barrow as the president and Faye as the president of Senegal, there exists a greater population in these respective countries, their interest matters to these two leadership. So the differences that might exist as a result of the scenarios that you just mentioned here. Personally, I don't think that can bring problem to Gambians, you know, because Barrow is a president. There are things that Barrow might want, but Gambians might not want it. And this might be clear to Senegalese as well.
But for the government, it might. Right?
Yeah, obviously.
Because there was a time Senegal disconnected us, right?
Yeah.
Electricity.
Yeah.
And because they said Molia don't mean ma jono, and it's very, very, very high.
Yeah.
So Barrow was able to communicate with Maki and they connected Gambia again.
Yeah.
Now Maki is gone. Do you think this will be another problem?
I think Barrow has a long way to go. He has a long way to go in the sense that he has to fill the very hole that he dug. Because not allowing past members in the Gambia to exercise their democratic right, I don't know whether that was as a result of Maki's influence, is something that should have been avoided in the first place.
Yeah.
But as long as it happened, it cannot also keep the Gambia at ransom. Now that Faye is the elected president, I think if there is anything like ego or whatsoever, that has to be put aside.
Yeah.
Barrow has to communicate well in the language that Faye and his leadership will understand. That even if he did that, if it was done in the interest of the state, let it be communicated, let Faye understand. But I want to believe it will not even get to that, because past step, Sonko, Faye made this struggle out of a very genuine cause. So their sense of maturity and understanding should be beyond that, even though no government would want to play with the interests of their respective states. No matter how genuine, friendly you might be to your neighboring country, there is no serious government who would play with the interests of the state. Any government who plays with the interests of his country, you are a government of doom. You are a government who is not serious about development, and you are a government who is going to hand over your country when it's already handicapped. In global politics, it might be severe to say that you have to chop countries before countries chop us, and that's the language that is currently in the world. Defend the interests of your country, even it means you are to die as a leader. You have to do it, and if you don't do it, other countries will exploit you at your detriment.
Yeah.
They grow whilst you and your people will be left in poverty and struggle, and that is evident in many countries. Agreeably, including the Gambia.
Yeah.
So that is it.
But for a cordial relationship between these two leaders.
Anyway, I want to believe that would happen. Yes, I want to predict that it would happen, but provided that Barrow is ready for it.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So ngana so kono saying, let's talk about Barrow yala cabinet reshuffle, and I saw you did a very good analysis on your Facebook page about the reshuffle me along waleke. But first, let's look at it in general. Janimbina ministerial mala killing yala reshuffle jenyadile kala minister falem.
For me, if I should give my frank analysis, well, before that, I received a lot of backlashes because of this particular opinion that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I exercise my right as a citizen, as a young person of this country, to give my thoughts without offense about this particular reshuffle. For me, I want to say that out of all exercise of reshuffling that Barrow did, this is the worst. I have to be plain and frank that, in my opinion, this is the worst.
Why?
Because one thing that Barrow did not put into consideration is expertise, ethics. He did not put into consideration expertise, that is the technical know-how of these ministers, or these, how do I call it, other individuals are not ministers, but they are also appointed to respective posts.
Yeah.
So expertise, even if it was put into consideration, was not a major item that was considered. The technical know-how of people that he appointed in to those respective positions. Also, in some of the appointments, Barrow did not put into consideration moral standards, moral consideration of the persons that he appointed. We will delve into that, and I want to believe some would argue, but some would also agree in this. So these are two major things that I believe were not put into consideration. So I think President Barrow did not actually make enough consultations with regards to this. So there is arguably a sense of patronage extended to some of these appointees for struggles that they've done.
So when you talk about among people that are technical, I will consider, what do you mean?
So that's the reason why we go to school and we specialize. Why do you specialize? We specialize because we want to have an informed knowledge in the field that you study.
Yeah.
Lafta londo le soto la je mi alonko londo saharimbalo. Londo mi alonko is going to enable you to do your job and understand the realities of the job, the work infrastructure, the policies that guide that particular institution, to make decisions that will reflect the realities of the job. Policy making in institutions is not something that is based on general knowledge. For one to be able to make policies, you have to have knowledge and understanding of that particular area that you want to make policy, whether it's a social policy, education policy. For it's a fahamu jele.
Yeah, for you understand.
For you understand yeah long. That's the reality. We either aspect or we reject, but that's the reality. For long those it. Now, mo jama kamin for wala mnyinti, as long as you current in another field to a certain degree, you are qualified to work in any domain or any profession. Or
as a minister, because the PS is the technician.
That is a very wrong notion. The PS might be a technician. The minister is a political appointee. But we've seen in this country where the minister's influence, PS role as the technician of the ministry undermined. We've seen in this country where a minister, being a political appointee, makes influence in his ministry way beyond the PS and people who work. These are realities. So for me, technical know-how, expertise in terms of this appointment would have been appointing somebody who is with the right knowledge in that particular field, had prior experience, understand the dynamics of the profession, the realities, the history, of that particular profession, and can give even prediction as to what will happen. I don't mind if I
understand.
So this is something that should have been key, my brother. You cannot be a plumber, a certified plumber. Yes, somebody like a minister of interior.
Yeah,
and if you are a certified plumber, we have plumbers who might study up to university level. That's the reality. They can be certified, they can have a degree in it. So you want to tell me that your understanding and your knowledge of plumbing qualifies you enough to work as a minister of interior? No, it's the reality. So we cannot say we are a democracy, we respect the intrinsic values of democracy, and we do not want to stand by what democracy calls. Democracy, a democratic regime, a democratic state would put into consideration the expertise of individuals before giving them some of these very important crucial positions.
So what are the moral considerations me along quite misled?
So morally, to me, it's practically impossible for somebody who on daily basis would be out there undermining your government, even if it is on genuine grounds. If it is on genuine grounds, yes, that is agreeably understandable. But what we've seen with some of these appointees, especially the case of the presidential advisor, who is Mr. Momodou Sabally, is somebody who through the Jane Commission, was it the Jane Commission, was incriminated for,
financial
mismanagement during the Jame era. The commission had a recommendation of it, and for many years he was without any public office job. He wanted to come as a National Assembly member because of the same recommendation. He was turned down. He kept crying, speaking against injustice in Barrow's regime. Went to an extent that he called Barrow and his team Kerenkafu and everything. Giving the impression, because at the time, some of the things that he said are very right of Barrow's regime. especially when it comes to the regime's inability to stand against corruption, to fight corruption as evidence in the country. Some of us as young persons loved him for it. We appreciated him and we spoke well about him when it comes to that. But he tried to be in the public space, but he couldn't because of this recommendation. And we've seen just few months or few weeks after his recommendations, should I say, were waived by the president, he is given the opportunity now to serve in the public office.
But is his right to join the president, right? Right level.
Is his right to join the president?
Yeah.
Right level.
Yeah.
But is president's
and
right?
Is he not competent to advise the president?
No, he is not competent in my opinion.
To advise the president?
On moral grounds.
Why?
Because he has a chain on his neck. Baroya Bondije, but that does not change the realities of the recommendations of the Jane Commission.
Okay.
That is a moral consideration that should have been, that should have been put, into consideration by Barrow.
Okay.
But Barrow, who should give us hope that he wants to fight, he wants to lay a strong foundation, especially when it comes to the fight against corruption, is the same president who has acted on his powers. To give Barrow, Njokuba and the others the opportunity to come back to public office. What would happen if Barrow leaves, another president comes and do the same thing? What is the essence of law? Why do we have law? The essence of law, the essence of law is to, guide humanity, guide society. We cannot have well-furnished laws in this country. People violate them. We spend our resources on institutions to make findings on these violations. Submitting recommendations, you joke with the recommendations. That is not what can help this country.
Okay, so sir, let's look at these ministries one by one. Now, Ahmad Bah is the minister from tourism, Yasamba, to the Ministry of Lands and Religious Affairs. What do you think of this appointment?
Out of all the appointments, I made this in my article that Ahmad Bah's appointment is the worst appointment. It's the worst appointment. It will remain the worst appointment because a minister who has corruption allegations on your head, Ahmad Bah has corruption allegations on his head. If a petition was filed, I know you know of this, to the National Assembly. And the National Assembly Petition Committee had to embark on an investigation on this.
He actually denied these allegations.
So, what is the responsibility of the executive? This should have been a cause for concern for Barrow as the president. Your minister is elect. A body as important as the National Assembly and its committee on petitions embarking on an investigation over this matter, and the results, were out. What should the executive do to ensure that, sanity is introduced? Because the allegations leveled on him, he said, are massive, and they cannot go unpunished. So Ahmad Bah, to me, I want to believe it's well planned. His the transfer to Ministry of Lands is planned because already the public is crying over some of these allegations. So there is a possibility that to divert people's thinking from this allegation is part of the reasons why this thing has been
the reshufflement, okay, the move to the ministry.
To the lands.
And some people are saying it's because of politics, because at least that ministry is connected to the local government municipalities, that is KMC and other councils. So perhaps some are saying probably, okay, it could be. But this is a ministry that is so, I don't know whether I can use polarized, because there is a lot of issues within this ministry, land problems and a lot of things.
But there you go. Ahmad Bah is elect of corruption scandals. Iba Kungro, as a president, minyan na Gambia bonda corruption okon. Minyan na the person who should set standard to be the number one in the fight to end corruption in this country. Oma Barrow Kumba. That's the reality. He knows about this allegation. Even though he is not proven guilty He has not been proven by any competent court of law. But this allegation should be a cause for concern. Right now, as far as National Assembly is a very important institution in this country, whether investigation, okay, a report finding, that report should interest the president.
Yeah.
It should interest the president. You know, Barrow interest Barrow needs to take step. Barrow is not doing this for Ahmad Bah, for his minister. Barrow is doing this for posterity.
Okay.
So what BJ, if these allegations are found to be true, Ahmad Bah, if morally he doesn't see it as a duty to resign from his office, and every other person who is culpable, Barrow should ensure that Ahmad Bah is sacked, not only sacked, is tried in the competent court of law. If he is found guilty, he goes to prison like any other Gambian citizen who goes to prison for corruption, for bribery, for any other wrongdoing that the court, the courts of our land are every day educating on. So this should be a standard that should be set for this country.
Okay. So, and thank you to what is the Ablai job lay at the place water. I think Ablai job is from energy to tourism. Yeah.
So before Ablai job, Ahmad Bah has some lands. A very important ministry as far as Gambia is concerned. Because if there is any ministry or if there are any issues in this country, we'll say Sonko Alma Alen Tangal, Sonko aning fitino willing in Bangkok. It can be Kenekuo, policy Sikuo, and even to some extent Politico. Politics is a tool for progress, tool for development, but political Kenyani also has the potential of inducing citizens in the islands. So what BJ, land is very sensitive. Barrow la regime kono. Barrow knows the realities on the ground. He knows the number of land cases million ko ika fenke ni banko kam. Molbe nyosam molbe family be daniel na kena ko. Satel be dunna nyola kena ko. Amma mo kumpanya. Kenol be kundule be dila mindi be dila investor le be kena ko dunta nyola ko ni banko kam bakel. Somebody with the expertise, somebody with understanding of how local government works would actually be a better fit for this position. Because Amariba understand that, will know the type of relationship that can also work with the local area councils. For God's sake, although they don't have full autonomy, but these councils, to a greater extent, are autonomous bodies. Even though we have bodies that exercise oversight functions over them. But so to some extent, if you want to exercise Kube Kuto, I am telling you that it would happen. Because the Ahmad Bah that we know, is not the Ahmad Bah who would let things slide for the interest of the country. Ahmad Bah, because he is the minister, he can actually follow them to a certain extent, and we know of the type of how do I call it, chairmen and mayors that we also have.
Yeah,
there are some of them. They are no nonsense men. They don't entertain certain things, and as long as it is in the interest of the country, any chairman or minister who does things right is going to be held for it. So I said this, and I'm going to say this again. I am not in support of Ahmad Bah's appointment as Minister of Lands, because land is a very sensitive issue, and I don't think Ahmad Bah has the expertise.
So you feel he should have been sacked?
He should have been sacked. His appointment should be reversed on two grounds. One, on ethical grounds, because he has corruption allegations on his head. And I had immediately, a day that the report was even presented, he organized a press conference, trying to, clear,
highlight some of his achievements and
yeah, obviously, but we cannot use your achievements to, should I say, free you from
cover,
free you from certain malpractices that you do. We can also do that. No matter how you achieve, the reason why you are put there is to achieve for people.
Okay, so now let's look at other ministries. As I said, Abdullahi Job is the new Minister of Tourism and Culture. Ahmad Bah's position.
Anyway, Ministry of Tourism in itself, for me, needs to be looked into because the recent allegation over the building of these eco lodges that Ahmad Ba is alleged of mismanaging funds and whatsoever could only happen out of long history of culture, maybe culture of mismanagement, as evidenced in the report of the committee. So even if job is good, smart, intelligent, and he can effect change in that particular area, that culture is capable of inducing Mr. Job into, practicing way more the corrupt practices that Ahmad Ba is alleged of. So I think, one thing that also should have been put into consideration again is the same expertise, and understanding, technical know-how. I said this applies to
the minister understand about.
That is the first thing that you put into consideration
the tourism sector
as the president when you want to appoint or reshuffle. Understanding. If they don't know, they cannot perform. At the end of the day, they start, fighting with their own staff in those ministries. Because if you want to perform their functions, at the end of the day, you end up having problems. There will be no results. Okay. So for me, generally, I have, like I mentioned, I have issues with the inconsideration of these items, technical know-how and ethical consideration. So I wouldn't comment much on Job's issue, but I think the ministry itself, as long as there is an alleged corruption allegation associated with the ministry, there is nobody.
Means I fix
corruption allegation fix.
You think so? Okay, alright. So, but about the Ministry of Information. Information flow is always a problem in the Gambia. Despite Mo Jamal Sotolemia appoint, we have Minister of Information, we have the government spokesperson, at a form like Deputy BJL, and but is a problem on BJL if you want to get information from the government. Now, Dr. Sise is the new minister now of information. I think today I page to say people to follow the page, which is a good move. They're going to update regularly about what the government is doing and everything. But what do you think of Dr. Sise's appointment as the Minister of Information?
Like I said, again,
Molko local language. People are commenting. Yeah, Sulayman Darboe, you speak.
Yes, come the same issue of technical know-how is paramount on this. And just as land ministry is sensitive, information ministry is sensitive, especially considering the long history of executive coercion on that said ministry. 22 years on the Jammeh information ministry. Jammeh's 22 years of dictatorship was characterized by firm grip and control on the information ministry. Practitioners, media practitioners did not enjoy imang freedom soto inyanna soto la nyami. There were arrests of several media personnel. Not only that, also there were closures. Over 10 media houses were closed during Jammeh's era. Not only that, we had about more than 100 arrests. More than that, there were a lot of young journalists who were arrested. Some were killed.
And a lot of people went to exile.
How do we prevent the reoccurrence of these things? Should be central in the functions of each and every minister who is appointed. It's not only about the channel of communication and whatsoever, but what were some of the things that enabled this control, and how can we avoid this? It's important. So I still believe Dr. Sise, with due respect to his academic prowess, his academic understanding and whatsoever, is not the right candidate for this position because he does not have the experience in this domain. He does not have the technical know-how in this domain. He does not understand fully the work infrastructure of the said ministry. What he can bang on is his understanding as an academician, and that is not sufficient, because if you say he's a good communicator, that is a soft skill that is needed by every job. Every job requires, I mean, the people to be good.
So what about the new Minister of Interior? Yeah, Minister of Interior, that is Abdoulaye Sanyang. The former IG, Atelem new Minister of Interior. Now we have Karim Toure as the new IGP. So Minister of Interior Abdoulaye Sanyang.
Yeah, Abdoulaye Sanyang, to some extent.
Yeah, because
he has the background.
The background, yeah.
Again,
because the police are under the
definitely
Interior
it's
Minister.
very fair. You know, maybe you can try to gauge the successes that he registered in terms of entertaining protests during his tenure as the IGP. You can at least say certain things about him when it comes to that. But to say he does not have the background, understanding, and knowledge of the position that is appointed, I think, that has to be ruled out. Okay. Because apart from getting a degree from the University of the Gambia, he also went to Gambia Law School.
Yeah.
So that is good. That is good. That is a good appointment. That is a good appointment. I think out of all the appointments, somehow I am going to speak well about this appointment.
So Karim also is good as IG. He was former police officer, I understand. Karim Toure as the new IG.
So with regards to that, I think if I should comment more on this, I can only give, should I say, a layman observation and thinking towards it, because this is something that is security, and
yeah.
The security officers themselves should be able to tell us as to whether there is possibility of one to be appointed IGP from another security institution. But that I do not have clear orientation.
That is right. Now let's look at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. Claudiana Call, I understand. From director, he was appointed minister. You know, in front of Babukar Boy. A lot of people said Babukar actually understand that ministry more than anybody at that time. And Babukar left, and he went to effective intervention. Now he's back in the government as a minister. But Claudiana Call now is relieved from her she's relieved from her duties. What do you think of that appointment? Because Yeming appointed ye as the minister and actually Malong, but I know Claudiana Call. What do you think of that?
Likewise, I think that's the issue. I wanted to make some background checkups on the
new minister appointed here.
But I think all in all, we need changes in the ministry.
At that ministry,
yeah, we definitely need changes. There was a time when, in grade 9, only one student got aggregate 6 in the
provinces,
and I was shocked. I was shocked that particular student was congratulated, not only congratulated, but I think was invited also, something like that. I was shocked not because of the gesture extended, but instead of this said minister asking questions as to what is happening to rural Gambian students for not backing enough aggregate 6, he chose to congratulate and not asking critical questions. So that, for me, I think there needs to be somebody in that ministry who has vision for the education sector. Somebody needs to be in that ministry who has vision. Whether or not that lady has vision for the education sector, considering his background, is something that I will be very, very interested to make findings on. But that ministry needs to be solid, plus higher education. We cannot say education is the backbone, and we are sort of leaders with vision for that sector. There has to be people with experience, with vision, with understanding of the work, and people who can add value. There are a lot of things that are happening. I have a teaching background. I understand this.
Myself too.
So you see, that is it. Despite the progress, there are a lot of, almost all these ministries that we talk about. At one point, yes, there are progresses registered. No one can refute that. But challenges challenges are also there, and these things are, they must be addressed.
That is right.
Yeah.
That is right. So now, well, SAPS once criticized the appointment of some of these advisors, and any baro criticized come advisor like Camille Buka advice Fenna and a lot of things. So now he took Mamajik guy's position. Mamajik was the special advisor to the president, but now he's the special advisor, the former advisor. Do you think it's a good appointment, and do you think as he borrow advice, things like me along it can bring change for this country?
When Sabali moved newly from UDP, another MPP, aka min be for kuno, anyana wale fola, but B, abe another party. Nte man Sabali as a person who can give advice to borrow means any banko bondi at this point in time. Banko be kuja male kono. Not only the Gambia, many countries in the world are faced with a lot of challenges. Economic, social, political. Presidents need advisors. They are independent, they are mature, they are well oriented, they are honest and truthful. Mol beni system o kono even they were bold enough to be telling Jammeh truth. And because of that, they are still here. You've never heard of those people being called in TRRC. So to say Mansalam itila dogo kenola, that is out of it. But Sabalila history, especially in light of Molmin Bota Dala towards Baro, Wena Baroya, Way Tonya Baroe, rather than Kakumol Fire, instead of Kakumol Fire, Mil Baro Contandila to remain in power. And then, for me, but I am very optimistic. Okay. So, I do not have hope that Sabali can deliver in that position in light of the things that he has said. These are realities. And above all, I also think Kamol Bondi Janki Samba Foreign Service ning iman dikila wala ni fe iman drake kampu purukata ke compensate. These are things that have to change in this country. When the Foreign Service
and we've seen a lot of people have a lot of issues there because they don't understand diplomacy probably.
So that is the reality. My brother. Foreign Service is critical, it's important. Politicians must put this into consideration. Kanadi coming, I am tired of this particular individual. Wallam lafari soful nekela. Amari hana tara man faham rosoto in the Foreign Service. Ya nika ekwala sambaje. You expect results. We have a lot of deportations happening in this country. A lot of people are having issues in their respective countries of residence right now. You need people who have understanding in diplomacy and its related activities. Puru yellow country brand. You hope the international community that citizens from your country are good enough, are responsible enough. Puru kanaya bangoga. But of recent, citizens of your country going to other countries, so
it's sad. It's definitely sad.
We have to understand.
It's very serious.
You see, truth must be told. But these things must be told.
Yeah, for you, if you look at Senegal, just like Gambia, you look at the kind of diplomat you mean not ambassador Gambia.
The education
level. I think this should do exactly maturity, expose one,
regardless of politics and whatsoever.
Because this is someone who's representing your country.
Definitely.
I think that is very important. I think the president should look into those things. But it time bandele fereng me sunkaro le kono na cameraman lo. So yes. So ibe sarla munera.
Anyway, scientific insemin fono walem kabaro dan. Corruption tinyari fengolo. Corruption in public office tinyari fengolo ka minke aka mul mimbe manka mankunda warabase warang jara. They deserve access to electricity, water, and other social services. Mimbe nafara. I call it denial. because min nyanne talaji mo dole ya fam ba futum nala dula do mal be kam family so Barrow one thing as a bujani respect or sort of no minna from Gambians is to fight corruption. And how would Barrow do this? A kind of fair corruption allegation. Let him have interest. He must have interest in corruption allegation involving his own ministers. My brother, the executive, legislature, judiciary, these are the arms of the government. So Barrow, having somebody closer to him in his own executive body, a lack of corruption, and we are going to a very critical period of time. That is the 2026 election.
Yeah.
And I think everything can happen. Barrow is there today. Tomorrow he can go. For him to go and have respect, Moli mira la kontan. Mim mansamin binasi la ofana ye mira Barrow la kontan. And I how many to accommodate him? It depends on now that Yemin fi wala ka fali. People were saying niaje makisal be balandi. I kato beke pour Ahmad Baye win is because I see all the sort of come binin songo nim fahi nyol nada. I ning tajirinde ya ndingul minkela. Wolsila fika
porque jo anin ko di tinyala milketa
wolsila sila fike jo so yemin fi wala ka falen so it's important. I am very particular with the executive benine dan na Barrow bulu I ala minister check I standard set sama hani atara manke mansadi the young people of this country, especially some of us milango mukandeno me condemn la kuola because moma he we love him as our president and we will continue loving him as a president, but that doesn't also mean as citizens we will keep quiet. So this is what I have.
Thank you so much. Nge tentu ke je bake wolem of course Sulayman Darboe nga tentu ka je bake wolem yalon ka yalondo soto bake ni nata political la karola bi of course ngalon ne ko mo jamal bi yele yalon ko programme o enjoy ande karanta je nin lungol kono mantra laynol yele kam bari be murana ne ka laynol yele nyaato do bandin don andu ngabe murana na programme dol dole be karla ka invite le pour you know animole kacha bari layani le pour sa nyinin ka lafta nyinin ka la fengo fenda nga Africell tendu ke je baki kanyim programme mo fasa ka sembentuyeni mo be sita number 7 wala number 2 sang itol besti Gambia banko kanjang ba fele ko thank you so much kanyim programme mo fasa ka sembentuyeni milka jibe fana alkana nyina ka style sen kerfatu ye na le style sen drong wo be programme ma ko la baki surtout kerfatu ka programme mi alon kon ka weleke abe ma ko la baki auto al stage ma bal sen ale na programme Jube Politic Kaacha Fatula program or the Grand Bantaba All Stars and Kerfatwe that will definitely help the program. Bafala Milka GB and YouTube la Bafale ko definitely I'll seek subscribe na YouTube channel Kuto Minketa Kerfatu Media. Nathre ba GB kam Facebook science thing. Ta YouTube ni pareta ye subscribe na YouTube channel Kuto Minketa Kerfatu Media. Please alkana jibe alman subscribe nga tentu ka je baki kana na technician ol Charles Elvis Ngom ane Mustafa Camara itolle muta ninsire drame wolle muta camera to ani masingol to fo talata nala ala baraka
Gambia am nañ mbégte ngir taxawee jotaay bii di fukkeeli yoon ak juróomi OIC Summit ci ñaari fan ñeneenti fan ak juróomi fan ci weeri May 2024 dinañ dalal ay buur ay njiiti réew ñu toppa ci njiiti réew yi ak ñi nga xam ne ñooy taxawal seeni réew ci mbootaay gi ñu toll ci juróom fukk ak juróom ñaari réew ñu bokk ci Organisation of Islamic Cooperation ñoo fee daje ñu war leen a dalal fii ci réewi Gambia teeru leen sargal leen bu kenn dootut fàtte ñu war a dajee ngir mun a waxtaan càmbar nu ñoo amee jàmm ak bennoo mun a mànkoo si lu ñoo jëmale kanam ak yokkute du rek si suñuy réew waaye àdduna wërngal képp loolu tax na ñuy sàkku ci ñépp ñu defati ko nañ ko daan defee àndandoor bu taaru bañ ñu xamee woon jàppale nguur gi bañ am ko niñ ko bëggee ci xew-xew bu màgg bile na aada ak cosaan gi génn ñu yaatu ak taaral jikko yi comme niñ ko daan defee wane suñ bopp ci kanami àdduna yépp nañ leen bokk a def taarix nañ leen mbooloo songa ko daan ko.
Hello! There's a new update from your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell.
For all of you that have struggled to buy cash power beyond $7,000, AfriCell has done it again. The limit to buy cash power is now up to $30,000. Oh yes, $30,000.
Buy all the cash power you want from your AfriMoney account by dialing *777#.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
It's an amazing offer. AfriCell mobile money just got way better. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be 10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased to 30,000. Meaning, your AfriMoney account, you can now withdraw and deposit up to $30,000 at once.
Cashing in and out just got 3 times easier. For more info, call 777.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Planning to have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond? Worry no more, because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Caraba Avenue and Bruceby Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980 8483 340 9400 or 635 9906.